Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Indices report with trading levels and Elliott wave as the technical analysis, and with the Australian market here for the weekly chart here. We're looking at from wave 4 here. It's possible to have a top in play here at the moment in terms of wave 1 and 2, and then 5 waves up here for wave 3 and 4, and then 5 here. If this market is going to continue to be bullish, then we need to look from wave 4 here up as wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, pulling back to the 50-60% retracement level, and then moving up into wave 3 here. So we're certainly going to need a strategy if there's going to be crossroads here for long and short. Let's go in and have a look at this on the daily chart. So on the daily chart here, we can obviously look at this as a top here as wave 5, or we can look at it as wave 1 with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave moving down into this space here. So the 6,000 is the 50% retracement level, and a little bit lower here would be the 61.8% here. So we can bring this down a little bit here. So I'm still expecting from wave B to wave C here, I'm looking for 5 waves. So from the top of wave B here, I'm looking for 1 and 2 here, and down for 3, 4, whoops daisy, 4 and 5 to finish off down here. But we can look at that on the 4-hour chart here. So on the 4-hour chart, we're looking at those 5 waves a little bit like this here. So wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3, 4 and 5 here. There is just one little snag here with all of this correction here, which is a little bit tricky to track. It's possible that this particular pattern here is part of this wave B, and it's possible that wave B could be sitting on top here, and then that would give us 5 waves down here as a completion here at this particular point here. So I won't know that unless this market finds 6,100 as support, because the retracement level from top of wave 2 to wave 3 here, roughly the 38.2% for wave 4 here, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, is it here. So if we found support on top of 6.1 here, then we'd go up from that point. So it's probably a little bit scary sort of buying on the lows here, but if you can manage the risk, then that would be fine. But otherwise, we'll have a look at that. But otherwise, we'll be looking for an A and a B and a C wave here, and then one more move down into this space here. Even once we come down into this particular space here, as a wave 1 here, as an A and a B and a C here, then we would push up into this space here. But if it was wave 5 here, then we're going to be continuing to the downside here. So that would mean that we wouldn't obviously come all the way up here. We would come a certain way up. So if we do count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, then we would need to count back up into a 50-60% retracement level, or at least at 61 here, and then we'd see another move coming down this way here. So we'll get to there when we get to there. Our main scenario is in this space here. So on the 1-hour chart for this market, we've been counting down here. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then down for 5. So we're looking for an A and a B and a C to pull back to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or as mentioned, the 38.2% retracement level from this low here. I think that we've got the low in here now. So an A and a little B wave here, and we should see a move up here into this space here. So I'll just get my little drawing tool here and take it from the top here, and there's 38.2%. But really we always need to sort of consider the closest largest number here as well, but because there's a top here just before that, we're going to see selling there at that point. So That B wave here, that can be in place here by the by, and then the C wave would be into this space here. And then we'll just look at this on the tick chart here on 100 ticks. So yeah, wave 3 here, so I'll put that in here, wave 3 here, wave A here, this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, because we've got 5 waves down here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from this wave 4 here. So we should move up from here. You could obviously put that sitting on the next one down here as well, but either's fine. But the main point here too is that if I can copy that, the stop needs to go under this low here, because if that's breached, then just trying to get that little guy here. Oh, here we go. We've got a red one over here. Anyway, under here. So yeah, we're looking for 5 waves up here. So that would be 1 and 2 here. I can't draw on this side. So 3 would normally take us to the top here, and then 4 and 5. So we may only get to here, but and then Thursday is a corrective day, which could bring us back down at that point. So yeah, this is our target zone just in here. So I mean, if I'm day trading, which I don't really do much of anymore, but I'd be trading to this number here, the 72 area here, and as remembering that if this becomes the support here, then we already have a low in place here at that stage. Okay, moving on to China with the A50 here. This is kind of the same as Hong Kong here, with having this this wave 4 sitting here in this instance, but Hong Kong has actually moved down to the previous lows here and would probably come down further at this point. This market hasn't moved down as much, and I've taken this this C wave here as wave C, but realistically it could be wave 1, but I'm not going to go long unless we're above this level here. Unless we've got a good support on 11,500, it just doesn't make any sense otherwise. So this is my sort of alternative count. So before I had, if I can just configure this here to wave 3 here, close that, copy that. I had wave 4 sitting here. A bit complicated, I know. Had wave 4 here, but there's also possible wave 4 sitting over here on wave C here. This has moved down here in 5 waves to here, an A and a B and a C here. It's pulled back to the 50-60% retracement level. That's and onto this particular trend line through here. But yeah, to be honest, I just don't know. So I'm not going to call a trade in here just yet on this here. This could easily move through here as well. In fact, the reality here is that the market came through the level, came back up, retested it, and has dropped here. So it's really in bearish mode here, based on this level here. So it's really a trade for a short trade set up here, but because it's on at 61.8%, and I expect the US markets to pick up now off their lows in the next session, so we'll probably see a bit of confidence come into this space here as well, into Asia. And Hong Kong is much the same as well. So with Hong Kong, we've had wave 4 here. We've pretty much made a new low here. There will be some support here. This 25,000 here is actually a medium level. It just means that it carries more weight than just a little thin line, that's all. And Yeah, I mean, I just expect it to move lower into this space here now that it's rejected the previous level here at 28. So the other important level between the 8 and the 5 here is the 2650 here, but it's also got that as resistance now, but it hasn't left that space. So where are we here? The 4-hour chart. I'll just see if I've got this on the hourly chart. Okay, so we've got a bit of a count here. So I was kind of considering this a little bit like the Australian market, actually. Looking at this as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and this, I mean, normally I'd look at this as wave 3 here, but because we've got this little move here, I just want to look at it like this for a moment. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, they're all, it's all, wave 3 is not the shortest, wave 5 is. So just thinking here that looking for a little ABC pattern in here to come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level, the same as the Australian market here, back into this space here, and then down, and then down from down from that point here. So I just want to see how this plays out here, and this is the 2650, which is the halfway between 8 and 5 down here, the 25 area here, which would be a target. I mean, when a market moves down into these sorts of levels here, close to such a large number here, they normally get pulled into that space, into that price point at a certain, in due course. So the 2650 here is more important than the 27,000 and the 26,000. So that's the balance point in this. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, let's have a look at Japan. Where's that Nikkei gone? Go. So bigger picture here is bullish, even though that we've seen this sharp move here. So from wave 4 here, we're still looking at a bullish market here in terms of all of this structure here to play out. So wave 1, wave 2 here, and up to wave 3 here, and 4 and 5 for the 5th wave. From wave 2 to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 and 5, and inside wave 3 here we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then up for 5 here. We can see that this particular top here is the top over here, so that's obviously going to cause some selling at that point, but the structure to the upside of 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here is still in play. So even though this has come a little bit low here, it's still okay. It hasn't overlapped a previous structure here of wave 1 here. So I'm just going to stay with this here at the moment. I know that this could be some sort of B wave here with, like, from wave 3 here is an A wave here, a B wave over here, and a C wave down here for wave 4. But I don't need to go there yet unless this wave 1 here becomes an overlap structure at that particular point. So yeah, we should see a move up from here now. So on this chart here, we've got wave 3, so an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then looking for wave 5 to the upside from this current low here. And I'll just go to the hourly chart here. So yeah, I just want to talk about this for a little second here. So we really need this market to move up from this particular low here. So this 23,500 here, that's significant here, 500, 5 being the second strongest number in the market. And we're seeing this market play out here somewhat. So we can look for long trades coming up into this space here now. obviously there's a fair bit of risk within all of this, and also too the risk in this too is that this move down through here, even though I've counted as an A and a B and a C wave here, I can also see that we can count it as wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2 here, wave 3 to this point, wave 4 to here, and then looking all of this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it's possible to count it as 5 waves down, so we will need to be a little bit mindful of that. This wave 4 could get a little bit more complicated. So what we'll need to look at here is the 50-60% retracement level, which is at that, which is handy. It's at this particular number here. That's where the resistance is going to be in this. This wave 4 moving down through here too, it should have only moved down to this space, this greyed out space here, but it's moved down further than that. It's not that it's a problem, but it certainly puts up a flag that we're in a bearish picture here. So any further downside here, we would need to start to look at this top here as a wave B in this space. So I'll just put that in here. And then this market would fall in line with India and other emerging markets as well. The Indian market here, which is in a bear market, so the Nifty here, in this here, just thought this is the weekly chart here, and I just want to point out one thing here, which we've been over before, but it's important that we go over these things now and again. So from this wave 4 here, it's possible to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in here as wave 5 of 5, so quite a serious top in here. The problem with that is that this particular move up through here really only counts as a 3-wave structure. So that would make it an expanded flat. So an expanded flat correction would come up here and would normally come down in 3 waves here, and then it would push up in 3 waves here, taking the top of wave 3 out here, and then eventually it would have 5 waves down here, taking this low out here, and then going up for wave 5. So that's an expanded flat, part of the flat family corrections of the regular flat, the expanded flat and the running flat, or sometimes I call it the regular flat as well, this particular one here. So this would give us our 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, taking this low out here. So what it does, it traps the bull traders here, and then it traps and then it reverses on them, and then it does the same thing here as well, and traps the shorts in here, and then moves up here. So basically from wave 3 here, we've got an A wave here, a B wave up here, and a C wave here. So yeah, I'm not quite sure of this, but the main point is that that I know that we've got 5 waves here, so all I need to do is track 5 waves down here, and where the change will occur is from this point here, we'll either go straight up here, or we will go up as an A and a B and a C wave coming up into this space here. This will probably move a little bit higher, and then it will drop down, so we can take the lows out there at that particular point there as well. So we'll be able to, we can work this side of it, we can also work the first leg up here, we can trade long up here, get out, wait for this one, trade this one up here, and then we'll start to know, with this one here, we'll start to know what's what, because with this move going up here, if it's going to be bullish, it's going to go up quite strong here. If it's going to be a C wave, like an A, B, and C here, then it's going to be more of an angle over here. It's going to be weak going up here. So we'll be able to sort of get a feeling for it, and then make the right decisions at that point. Let's go in and have a look at this all the same. So the 5 waves down here from the wave B here, we would look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then all of this down here as wave 3 here, It's not quite finished here. We're looking for this little wave 4 moving in up here, which is, we'll look at that in a moment. And a bounce off 10,000, which would give us this wave 4 here. So coming into this space here, little A, B, and C here for wave 4, and then wave 5 moving down lower here. Okay, so I'll go to the 1 hour chart, but won't give us much difference. So yeah, we were looking last time we spoke at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3. We're looking for a correction that could come back up to the wave 4 of one lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level. So it's struggling to do that. We're going to see some strength in the US, so we might see that now. It's only at the first level here, the 23.6. 38.2 is here with the wave 4 of one lesser degree over here. I can count this here as an A and a B and a C wave to here for this particular wave 4, but it hasn't pulled all the way up here. I know that the 10,000 here will be, you know, it's like a magnet basically for the volume, and so it will pull that down into there at some point. So I don't know if it's going to be pulled straight down into here, or we go up to here first and then down. That I don't know. This is just a little bit messy here, and I haven't had time to pull it out. But if you're short, certainly leave the stop above this space here. All right, that's it for the Asian indices. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.